knocked away, picked up by Andre from three-quarters, and he hit it! He had his eyes on the prize and let it fly!
All right, what's going on there, all you Tanimals out there today? It's another episode of the Tanndemonium Sports Show here on Vendetta Sports Media Podcasting Network. Almost lost what I was going to say. Make sure you join us. Well, join us every Tuesday live on Vendetta Sports Media. And here on Twitch TV, we are streaming live exclusively on Twitch. Make sure you follow all things Vendetta. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at media_Vendetta. Follow the show, the Tanndemonium Sports Show, if I can find it. See, now, usually we have the producer / executive to the stars, Courtney Don't Call a Plumber. But unfortunately,
the StreamYard queen.
The StreamYard goddess is what she is, folks. But unfortunately, she had some things that she needed to take care of this evening. So looks like I will be wearing the multiple Courtney hats tonight. So, and you know what's funny, Jackson? I don't know if you had a chance to watch the latest episode of That's Some Cheese, where I was the guest to the stars.
I got to watch like the first 10 minutes of it. And what's up, Kevin? Kevin Juarez?
What's up, Kevin Juarez? What's going on, man? Well, it has been decided. I am the head.
I want to say I saw that. I got through that part. Yeah, I got through the HR talk.
Yes.
And I was going to say, because normally, the North Spiel, when we hop in here, which let me finish this. I'm pretty sure Kevin's been with us for a while. So shout out to Kevin there for hopping in on the stream and commenting. But I was going to say, because your normal spiel is Jackson, how the hell are you doing? And I was going to be like, better than a couple of interns probably on Thursday.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. For those that don't know, being that I am the head of HR, I made an executive decision that, you know what, I'm gonna give them a peek into the peanut gallery here at Jackson Law.
I'll go for it, because if they watch Cheese, or if they go watch Cheese, they're going to get it anyways.
Exactly. All right. So I'm going to open this up. Forgive me, guys, if things are going to probably be a little bit slow because we don't have Courtney's amazing awesomeness to sort of get in here and make sense of our stupidity.
Yeah, no, she's quick with it.
She's quick with it, man. And she gets faster every day. Like, there's some days where I seriously think that this show is like,
she's the GOAT.
TV.
She's the GOAT, man.
She really is. Like, she is amazing. So I'm going to share my screen here. And you guys are seeing the inside. All right. So this is inside the intern. You see, this is the intern channel on the Vendetta Sports Media Slack. And I'm saying here, I'm the host of the Tanndemonium Sports Show, but also I am also HR for Vendetta.
You're right, Creek. You're right.
Yeah, you are right, Creek's Corner. You are absolutely
sorry.
Right.
I was trying to talk like softly so I didn't interrupt you, but go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. So basically, here's the assignment. Last week's That's Some Cheese, we saw friend of this show and friend of Vendetta Sports Media, Josh Taylor, come on, and him and Trey had an amazing conversation. And a lot of the stuff Trey was asking, he was actually asking as a way to help out our interns, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, when you have someone that's actually is in the industry, right? You want them to talk to your intern class. You want to, and these are the guys that this is the, Josh Taylor is the type of guy that you definitely want to talk to. You want to learn from, you want to get the information from, because this guy has been up and down the road.
Yeah, he's been around the block a few times. He
Twice.
knows what he's doing, and he knows what he's talking about. And the whole point of being an intern is to gain experience and make connections. And people don't realize how many eyes are actually on the site. Like, you would be surprised the people that say that they know about us.
Right.
We're really surprised sometimes, the people that mention that they know who we are.
Right. And it's growing more and more every day. So as you can see here, you guys have had time to read it. Basically, I put up 10 questions based on the That's Some Cheese episode. It is mandatory. All interns are not only required to acknowledge that they've read and understand this assignment, but they also understand that this is not optional. This is mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do not follow said mandate, they will be fired. And I even asked Trey, when you fire interns and you have to talk to their guidance counselors or whatever you have in college at this point, you know, the people in that department, what's the deal there? And he goes, you know what? They're almost always on my side. So here's the thing. Right now, you have primarily, these are the questions that they have to answer. Okay.
Krieg wants to know, how many have you gotten?
All right. I'm going to give you that right now. As of now, I've gotten 3. All right. As of now, I've gotten 3.
You've gotten 3, and it's what, like 48 hours?
48 hours
beforehand? Oh my.
Yeah. I've gotten one from
big yikes.
Ryan, one from Jennifer, and one from Jamie. That's it. Got one fella that's telling me, oh, I'm going to have it done today. I'm going to have it done tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Here's the thing. Quit telling me when you're going to have it done and get the damn thing done. All right. I don't go, I'm done with the whole, I'm going to get it. You can take that Harpo shit someplace else. You can take that elsewhere. It's not good, Krieg's Corner. It's absolutely not. So, honestly, no more reminders. No more anything like that. This Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not accepting anything after 7:30 p.m. That's 19:30 hours Eastern Standard Time. 19:30 on the nose, not 19:30:01. No. If you don't have it to me by 19:30:00, it's late. You fail, you're fired. Period. Nope. I am not going to release. Because you've had time. You've had more than enough time. Jackson, do you think I'm being a hard ass on that one? Or do you think I'm in the right? Do you think I should?
No, I mean, they've had plenty of time. And so again, to like let people in on the inside, they do this for school credit. Okay.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that it's super easy. There's a few hours that you have to hit every week, and they also get to add 90 minutes on. Yeah, that's what I was going to get to that, and I was like, this is no different than any other assignment that they're going to get from any other class, and you get 90 minutes on your timesheet for watching it and completing the quiz, and as long as you just answer 7 out of 10 of them right, you're good. You're fine. You're here to stay. I don't think that's too much to ask, especially from when I taught, like for the little bit that I taught college when I was a graduate student. And so like I got a job as a graduate assistant, and part of the graduate assistantship was to teach college level courses. I was hard on those students, dude. I did not let up for a full semester, 2 semesters. Actually, it was 2 semesters. Wow. I did not let up on those kids. I was kind of brutal. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, and the thing is though, is that you can't, because here's the thing. Guess what? The real world is not gonna be gentle on you.
No, Krieg, you would not have liked Professor Law. You would not like him. You remember, like when we were joking about this. I remember at some time, I think it was the last show that we talked about this. I can't remember where we were talking about this, But I was like, yeah, make it essay, make it,
Yeah,
15 questions, make it like
dude.
a 3-page essay, like talk about this stuff. And that's just the world I live in, man. Like 3 to 4 page essays like that, get them done in 40 minutes.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, too. If some of them are doing undergrad and this is what they're doing, don't even think to try grad school. Cause you got to take grad school seriously.
It's tough, dude.
It ain't easy.
60 something pages. That was my final paper that I had to turn in.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm going through grad school right now. I am so not looking forward to that final class. I'm really not. I'm looking forward to it and I'm not looking forward to it all at the same time because I know it's going to be killer. But no, dude. So, and I hate the fact that I've just had to waste 11 minutes talking about this because we got a lot to talk about tonight.
We do.
I mean, come on, guy.
It's the NFL's here. It is here.
It is here. I love the fact on our notes, Courtney says, don't forget the breaks. I love it. I love Courtney so much. We miss Courtney. I wish she were here. I really do.
I know. Me too.
Oh, wow. This just in, hot off the Ravens wire. Le'Veon Bell is now a Baltimore Raven. Wow.
How does that make you feel, Trey? Does that make you feel as a Ravens fan, as a Ravens guy? What do you think about that?
You know what? Tell you the truth, you're going to get what you pay for, and I can't wait to see him come back to Heinz Field and get brutalized.
Team only finds a way to make me hate. Yeah, how do you think that's going to go down the first time that Le'Veon Bell comes back to Heinz Field and he's in a Ravens uniform?
You know what? I don't think anyone's going to care. I don't think anyone's going to care. Hey, Le'Veon Bell's on the Ravens. Boo.
I think that's a fate worse than like everyone booing him. Is everyone just like, whatever?
Okay. I mean, come on. This is Le'Veon Bell. All right. You know what? When Barry Foster left the Steelers to go to the Carolina Panthers, no one really cared. It was like, man, hey, it happens. Bam Morris went down and he was gone. And he went to, I can't remember. I think he might have gone to the Kansas City Chiefs for like a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Wow. Damn. You know what? Why didn't they just go to that? Well, what's the name of that team in Ohio that we were making fun of last week that got beat like 76-0 on ESPN?
Oh yeah, like the fake school.
The fake team. Why don't they just get a running back from them? Like while they're at it. Like so, and this is actually one of the stories that Courtney put up there, that the Ravens were working out Le'Veon Bell and Devontae Freeman following Justice Hill's Achilles injury.
Devontae Freeman, that's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Me neither, dude. Like holy crap. But yeah, I mean the Ravens season is getting snake bit before it's even begun. I mean, first you've got that idiot John Harbaugh playing J.K. Dobbins. His knee is now gone. Like his knee just disappeared. Oh wow.
Devontae Freeman. Oh wait. Devontae Freeman. That's his burner. That was the burner account that we found, right?
Trey got into it with
we found Devontae Freeman's burner account. I remember that.
That's awesome. So then Justice Hill tears his Achilles during practice. So now we got Le'Veon Bell suiting up for the Ravens. I guess the Ravens feel like, well, Le'Veon Bell and Alejandro Villanueva did really, really good for the Steelers for those couple of years. That'll be good for us. Yeah.
Like a 30-something-year-old Le'Veon Bell that's just doesn't care anymore?
Yeah.
I'm so glad he chose Kansas City over Miami. I have no idea what Miami was thinking. Like, I know Miami was in desperate need of a running back, but never that desperate. You should never be that desperate.
No, you don't. You don't go full Le'Veon Bell. Okay.
No.
You either sign someone with the first name Le'Veon with a different last name, or someone with a different first name with the last name Bell. But you never go full Le'Veon Bell. You just don't. All right. If anything I learned from watching Kevin Smith movies is that you don't go ass mouth and you never go full Bell. Okay. You never go full Le'Veon Bell, but they did. Oh well.
Yeah. Oh, well, so there's something I wanted to ask you about. I don't know if we should wait until we start like going through like the divisions real quickly, because I feel like that's going to take up most of the show today. But it's about TJ Watt. was the thing I'm curious about. So we could either wait to talk about that when we get to the AFC North, or we could just hop right into the AFC North and then talk about it. And then,
you know what? Let's wait until we get to the AFC North, because I want to do this. I want this first segment to be talking some of the news real quick, and then I want to start getting into predictions.
Gotcha.
All right. So it looks like Kliff Kingsbury is going to be the first NFL coach fired in 2021. Max Murphy wrote this article. Go to vendettasportsmedia.com. Let me bring it up. Bring up the banner real quick. Oh, there it is right there. Never mind. I already had it going. I'm ahead of myself. Go to vendettasportsmedia.com to check out all of our content. Shout out to Max Murphy. Speaking of shout outs, I have to do this real quick before I get too deep into this show. I have to give a shout out to my son, the fruit of my loins, my crotch fruit, my new 7th grader, Bryan Anthony Tann Jr. The Duder himself. Hold on. I'm gonna bring up pictures because I'm proud as hell of this kid. First day of 7th grade, I couldn't be prouder. My kid went in rocking. Someone tried telling me in a direct message, I love the look your son has going. It's kind of like a Bruno Mars type of thing. And I told my son this, and he goes, no, it's my own thing. It's my own thing. And I'm like, hell yeah, look at that kid. Look at that kid. And he is
drip.
He is decked out in what I bought for his first day of school. He's got the jean jacket that matches mine. Now, he picked the one that had the rips in it, which, all right, that's cool. He picked those pants. He picked that T-shirt. He's got the 1990s Kid and Play high top fade. He's got the swagger smile. Look at this kid, man. Look at
Absolute
this kid.
Stud.
He is a stud.
He's got some of that big unk energy. That's what he got.
He does. You know what? I'm getting him a Big Unk T-shirt. I am going to buy him a Big Unk T-shirt.
There you go.
For real. This is my son, Bryan Anthony Tann Jr., first day of 7th grade. And actually, we were on the phone. That's part of the reason why the show's a little bit late tonight. I was on the phone with him getting the full rundown on his day. And then he actually stops in the middle of it to go, so Dad, how was your day? This kid is amazing. I have the awesomest kid on 2 legs right now that's in the 7th grade. There are other people that have amazing kids, and God bless them. But my kid is like the creme de la creme, okay? My kid is like, cream may rise to the top, but you know what? You don't need to rise to the top if you're already there. So whoop, whoop, and shout out to the future of Vendetta Sports Media.
He at the top, and he ain't jumped yet.
That boy ain't even peaked yet, and he's already on top. Started from the top, he's still there. That boy came out on top as a zygote and sperm. Okay. So Kliff Kingsbury, it looks like he's going to be the first coach fired of 2021.
I mean, I don't think he will. I like the Cardinals. I do. Not in like a fan sense, but I think they're a good team. Like Kliff Kingsbury is like the only questionable part of the team. But if the team is winning and they're performing, and Kyler Murray takes that step this year that we all think he is, that I think he may, and a lot of other people think he will. And if that defense shows up too, they just got JJ Watt.
They got JJ, yeah. I was really hoping that JJ was going to come to Pittsburgh, but I think that, that situation out there in the desert is going to really, really work for him. And he could be the
I don't know how Aqib Talib says calamari.
Calamari. Calamity Jane. Hip Hop Anonymous.
Calamari.
Oh. That's how he says Kyler Murray.
Calamari.
So basically I have to put a little bit of I have to put some Calamari into it. Calamari. Okay, gotcha.
I hate the games that Aqib Talib calls. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. He's called a few games. They've been tough to listen to.
Yeah, you know what? It's going to be hard because while I'm making the commitment to be the sports guy this year, if I see Aqib Talib, I'm probably going to change the channel and put on something else. You know what? Isn't the Westminster Dog Show technically sports? Maybe I'll even write an article about it. Slow down. I'm being
You're just the flow. You're just the talking head. That's all you are.
That is. I'm not the sports guy.
No, you're not. You're the HR guy that just talks.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'll be more than happy if we get enough podcasting talent that can actually bring in the numbers. And Trey says, you know what? I think we're best suited to take you off air. I think Jackson needs someone better to work with. The Tanndemonium Sports Show is going to be repackaged as the All Day Someday podcast featuring Jackson Law and insert co-host here to be named later.
Half the day, half the week.
Half the day, maybe on Sunday. All right, so apparently Coach Bill Belichick says that vaccine alone won't solve all the problems. Now, this comes into the fact that they're saying that it was said that possibly Cam Newton's vaccine status was why he was cut, but Belichick says, no, that really wasn't a factor.
Yeah, and you kind of open yourself up to a lot of legal ramifications because I don't think the union has agreed on, yes, we're for mandatory vaccinations for players. And from what it sounds like, he just means that it's like, if you get the vaccine, then it, that doesn't solve the issue of COVID could still get in your locker room and still cause you to miss and even forfeit a game. So you still have to be careful about it.
Well, the thing is that the COVID protocols are way different if you're vaccinated.
Yeah.
If you're vaccinated, you don't have to wait this long period of time. You just have to have 2 negative tests within 24 hours. That's it. And it's, so I really think that I'm surprised that the NFLPA hasn't discussed this. I'm sure they did, and there's just some information that we haven't gotten yet. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a private corporation, you can mandate it.
Yeah, you can.
So let's real quick. I want to get through some of this stuff so we can get to our predictions. I'm going to share the screen yet again. Let's take a look at these week 1 of the NFL. Now, I will be watching. Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go.
There you go.
I will be tuning in for the Dallas Tampa Bay game. Am I going to live tweet it? I probably will. I'm actually excited to live tweet a game that I'm not a fan of, to be honest. But when we're doing our over-under, that's just for Steelers games,
The over-under is just for Steelers game, and that is 100% going to be a stat that we are keeping up with on our Sunday Showdown show.
All right. Now, what time are we doing the Sunday Showdown show?
Sunday Showdown show is probably going to start about, I would say 12:30. I think that's the time that we're going to aim to start. 12:30 Eastern time. That gives us minimum 30 minutes before like the supposed kickoff. But kickoff's always like 10, 15 minutes after the allotted TV slot starts at 1 o'clock.
Now there's one thing that might interrupt me a little bit, Jackson Law. And that is the fact that I will be teaching a class Sunday.
Of course, Trey. Of course.
I might actually make my class earlier. So like for noon or 11:30. So that way I can finish my class and then go to some football.
Yeah. And it's open for anyone that's in Vendetta that wants to drop by and talk football. Hopefully we have some people besides me that stays in the that stays on. But hopefully we got quite a few people. So like you could drop by. We got Trey Coleman from the In the Trenches Miami Dolphins podcast. I'm sure he may stop by. We've got all types of other NFL fans because you're going to be sitting down and watching football anyway, so you might as well football. So you might as well football. So you might as well just stop by.
Right. So Tuesday we've got the now
we'll give better commentary than Aqib Talib. I can promise you that. It's a low bar, but if he's calling whatever game you're watching and that's like the only game that you can watch, just come watch us.
Well, if he calls himself doing a Steelers game, I won't be watching it anyway because I always mute the national guys and I listen on the radio.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go through these real quick. We only have a couple of more minutes. Dallas, Tampa Bay. I got Tampa Bay in this one, Jackson.
Tampa, easy. Yep. I don't trust Dallas. I wrote an article today about how I think the Giants could win their division, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that the Cowboys have Mike McCarthy as their head coach.
Fair enough. Philly, Atlanta. I'm going with Philly on this one. Atlanta is they're still they got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of questions that are going to be answered, and I'll tell you the truth. I kind of wish that I'd be able to watch this game. I might see if I can do double duty between the Steeler game and this one, to be honest, because I definitely want to see what Atlanta's going to do. But I've got Philly in this one.
I've got Atlanta just because Philadelphia is just a dumpster fire.
Fair enough.
Absolute dumpster fire. I think they finished probably worst 5 in the league.
Fair enough. Steelers, Buffalo. The fan of me says Steelers, but the sports guy in me says Buffalo. I think that Josh Allen is going to he's going to pick up where he left off last season, and he's going to go off. He's going to challenge the Steelers defense. And if TJ Watt, we'll talk about him in the next segment. If TJ Watt isn't on the field, that just makes Josh Allen's job a lot easier, unless Alex Highsmith is ready to take that next step and become an elite edge rusher.
Yeah, I got Buffalo as well. I think it may be fairly close than what some people think. I don't know what the spread is, but it may be a game where Buffalo wins, but it may be a game like if you're betting, you may take Pittsburgh to cover the spread, just because or against whatever it is. I'm brain fog. But I think Pittsburgh at least keeps it close because Pittsburgh always seems to start hot, but then it's at the second half of the season where they kind of tend to.
Yeah, and they also play to their competition as well. They always do. They always have in the Tomlin era. All right, Minnesota, Cincinnati. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Cincinnati on this one. I think Joe Burrow comes out and he's gonna be playing with something to prove. I think.
I honestly have.
You don't care?
No, I honestly have no idea. I think I'm gonna lean towards Minnesota just because I know what Minnesota is. It's not a great team by any sense, but
I got Kirk Cousins, the most overpaid player in the NFL, as their
true. But they also have Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. That defense, the defense could be a top 5 or bottom 5 defense. You just don't know. It changes from year to year.
Fair enough. San Francisco, Detroit. I got San Francisco on this one, hands down.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezing.
San Francisco. Yep.
Arizona, Tennessee. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a barn burner for sure. It's going to be interesting to see what Bud Dupree does on that Tennessee defense. It'll be interesting to see what Julio Jones does, where now it looks like Ryan Tannehill has some weapons around him now. So honestly, I'm kind of leaning toward Tennessee. With that being said,
yeah, I don't know. I think Tennessee might.
Uh-oh. Is it me or is it Jackson? Who is it? Who's frozen? Tennessee. All right. So anyway, I can't tell who it is because I'm still doing good. All right. It's not me. All right, cool. So it's just Jackson. Damn. That sucks. Okay. Anyway. All right.
He's slightly overhyped.
There we go.
This year, I'm
okay. All right.
So,
you back, Jackson?
I think we're back. Yeah, I think that was me.
All right. Cool. All right. I feel bad. Thanks, Craig. Appreciate you. All right. So anyway, so you're leaning more toward Arizona?
Yeah, more towards Arizona.
All right. Fair enough. Indianapolis, Seattle. I got Indianapolis all the way. I think Seattle is going to be, you're saying that you think Philly is going to be in the bottom 5. I think Seattle might be there too.
I think Seattle will still be competitive, but I'm going to go with Indianapolis on this one too.
As long as you got Russell Wilson, you're always going to be competitive. It's just, is this defense going to work with?
Also, Russell Wilson is my starting quarterback in the Vendetta League, so I have to root for high numbers.
Fair enough. All right, LA and Washington. I'm gonna go with the Chargers on this one.
Me too.
It just feels better. It feels right, to be honest. New York
feels right.
It does feel right. New York and Carolina. I'm taking Carolina. I want to see Sam Darnold get some revenge on the New York Football Jets.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Sam Darnold leads them to victory. He's going to throw for like 3 touchdowns. It's going to be beautiful.
I'm going to call it right now, J Law. Sam Darnold is going to be mentioned in the MVP race. He ain't going to win, but he's going to be mentioned. He is going to lead Carolina to glory.
200. Let's see. Stat line. It's going to be around 270 yards and 3 touchdowns. Calling it right now. He goes ape. DJ Moore has a fantastic day.
Sam Darnold is you know what? He's not close to MVP level yet. He's not close yet. I didn't even say he's going to win. I said he's going to be mentioned. He'll be mentioned.
Hey, he's got something special though. Only someone that's got something special can get mono. His team absolutely suck. Then comes back from mono, has to wear a vest to protect himself because if he gets hit, he could die because he came back too soon. And then almost wins out to get his team to the playoffs.
I agree.
And his team was the Jets.
I agree. This guy is gutsy. He's got fire. And he torched the piss out of the Steelers. He should have even been playing in that game, but he torched the piss out of them. All right, Jacksonville, Houston. Do I really care about this one? Not really, but I mean, I'm rooting for Tyrod Taylor.
But
I think Tyrod Taylor is going to have an okay day, but unfortunately, he plays for the Houston Texans, and Trevor Lawrence is going to go off.
In his first NFL game, Trevor Lawrence is going to get a dub.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence is going to probably throw for like 450 yards and 4 touchdowns because that Houston defense is garbage.
Just too bad he's not throwing to Tim Tebow.
He stinks. They
stinks.
Cleveland,
Houston
Kansas City.
Stinks.
Houston does stink. Kansas City, Cleveland. I hope Patrick Mahomes just goes nuts. I want to see 750 yards through the air and 10 touch. I want to see Madden numbers.
Madden rookie numbers. Yeah,
I do. I am so sick of Cleveland and its fans. I want Patrick Aloysius Mahomes II to just go insane. And he will. Nick Chubb is going to be good. But that's about it.
I agree. Kansas City takes it.
And I hope Baker Mayfield throws 8 interceptions too.
His Baker Mayfield's numbers with them winning, you know what quarterback he's been most comparable to in the NFL? Gardner Minshew.
Ouch.
If you were to swap Baker Mayfield and Gardner Minshew, then based on numbers, they'd be in the exact same position.
Fair enough. Your Miami Dolphins versus the hated New England Patriots. I'm going with Miami on this one.
I got to be a homer on this one. I'm not fully sold on Mac Dad Bod Jones.
Mac Dad Bod Jones.
And of course, I could list a lot of reasons why I think Miami's going to be good this year, but we'll keep it short and sweet. I'm going to be the homer. I'm not going to pick them every week because they're not going to win every week. That would just be stupid. Unless it's 1972, I'm not picking them to win every week. So,
well, we'll talk about why you think Miami is going to be good when we start going through the divisions. That's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Green Bay, New Orleans. Honestly, I think this is going to be my afternoon game that I watch for sure. I mean, I'm going to be flipping between Kansas City and Cleveland, and I'm actually going to bounce between this one too. I want to see what Jameis Winston does as the starting quarterback in New Orleans. Honestly, I see Green Bay winning this one though, because I see the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Shayna Woodley, playing with something to prove.
Yeah. I'm calling the upset though. I'm going with New Orleans on this one. I like New Orleans this year. I don't think they're world beaters, but I do think that as much as I've made fun of them, I think Jameis Winston does come back with a vengeance this year. And maybe that year under just learning under Breeze and in Sean Payton's system will do him a lot of favors.
I agree.
I could be proven wrong, but
yeah. Denver, New York, it's easily going to be Denver. Hey, I'm a Jameis Winston guy. I may not like some of the things he's done off the field, but on field, I think he's been pretty good. So he will be owed an apology after this season.
He just needs to cut down on turnovers. That's the only thing I've griped on him about.
They cutting his eyeballs. He'll be fine. He got the eye shine like his name is Riddick. He's good now. Denver, New York, this is a game where Teddy Bridgewater is going to be owed an apology from a lot of people. He's going to slice the Giants up.
I'm on New York with this one. I like the Giants. I do. I don't, again, not a world beating team. I think their max is like 8 or 9 wins at their absolute, but I think they got everything together a bit more than what Denver does.
Fair enough. And finally, Chicago at the LA Rams.
Rams.
The Rams.
The Rams.
The Rams. Yeah, this is where Matt Stafford goes, yeah, you thought I was good in Detroit. Watch what I do now.
Now that I have a defense, an offensive line, a run game, and receivers, and a head coach that knows what he's doing.
Now that I have an entire team. How you like me now?
Matt Stafford, like 13 years later, something's like, all right, now I'm finally in the NFL.
Right.
I'm finally on an NFL team.
Seriously. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're 5 minutes over. We're going to start talking the week 1 predictions per the by division. It's what we're going to do. But we got to take a break. We're way over. This isn't last week, by God. But we're back on the Tanndemonium. This is the Tanndemonium Sports Show. We're streaming live here on Twitch, part of the Vendetta Sports Media Podcasting Network. We will be right back. Now, where the hell is the thing that I want to do? This sucks.
Isn't it the video clips or whatever? You found it earlier.
Oh, well, no, it's not this one. Oops. Oops. This is why we need Courtney.
I thought you had it for a second.
I thought I had it too. I don't know what's going on here. How about, because all right, we'll go with it.
The following is brought to you in partnership by Symbol. Symbol is a new sports marketplace where you can trade shares of professional teams like stocks. You love sports. You interested in fantasy sports without the weekly annoyance of fantasy league upkeep? Then Symbol's the app for you. With Symbol, fantasy sports is going to a whole other level. How it works is simple. You buy Symbol shares for your favorite sim teams on the app. When your sim team wins, you get automatic cash deposits, and you don't lose any money when they lose. That's it. So if you follow trends across football, basketball, and baseball, and you think your team is a sleeper, simply invest in your favorite sim teams on Symbol and watch your virtual portfolio prove you right or wrong. And if you want to get in on the action right away, Vendetta Sports Media's got you covered. Go to symbol.app/Vendetta and use our exclusive promo code Vendetta, and you'll get a $10 bonus when making your first deposit. Symbol, taking fantasy sports to a whole other level.
All right, we're back on the Tanndemonium Sports Show. As soon as I go, there we go. We're back on the Tanndemonium Sports Show here on Vendetta Sports Media Network. And all right, so let's go by division, J-Law. Let's go by division. By the way, real quick, I do want to throw this out there. We also want to give some love to one of our other main sponsors here on the show, Monkey Knife Fight. Go to monkeyknifefight.com. Use our promo code Vendetta, and you will get a $100 instant match on your very first deposit, up to $100. All right. So, with that being said, Trey is still saying, we owe Jameis Winston an apology. He's owed an apology, and you know what? I think he is. But you know what? I think that he's really going to. I seriously think that he is going to really take it to that next level this year. We're gonna be pleasantly surprised. At least I know I am. All right, let's go division by division. Let's see. Real quick, LaMarcus Aldridge is re-signing with the Nets after having being cleared of heart issues. DeAndre Jordan is going to be most likely signing with the LA Lakers after the trade to the Pistons, and there was a buyout. Why bother trading then if you're just going to buy them out in the ball? I guess to clear roster space, so that makes sense. And Paul Millsap is going to the Nets, so it looks like we're getting super teams on the East Coast and West Coast.
Great.
So, okay, cool. And real quick, I want to take a look. I want to show this real quick. Apparently, there's a kick by Khalil Rountree that apparently folks want banned. His rivals want it banned because they're saying that it's illegal. So I'm going to show this real quick, and then we're going to get to NFL stuff. All right.
Bet.
And I love some UFC. So, all right. So here we go. Here we go. Boom.
Oh.
Damn. It's a hell of a way to end a fight. Holy shit.
Run that back real quick.
Oh, absolutely. No, let's get this. Boom.
Oh.
You know what? As a martial artist, that's a legit kick to me. That's a legit kick. That's legit.
So they're saying it's dirty because he's doing it on the step, or that was just coincidence?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I'm going to look at this. I want to see what the reasoning is behind this. They're saying that, let me scroll down. It says here, a number of UFC fighters have called for Khalil Rountree's controversial kicking technique to be banned after the American star seriously injured an opponent in a brutal TKO. Rountree aimed an oblique kick at Bukauskas' left knee, which buckled under the contact as the Lithuanian fighter collapsed. Here's the thing. And the guy who got hit with it defended it, said that it was his responsibility to defend himself from the kick.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I saw that kick land, it wasn't on the knee. It was on the quad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need me to pull it up again?
Nah, I saw it. I saw it.
That was a quad kick. He kicked him on the quad.
He just kicked him hard enough that his knee gave out.
Right. Now, the thing is, the first time that you see it, it looks like he hits the knee. It looked just like he hit the knee, but he didn't. That was on the quad. The initial strike was on the quad, which buckled it, and his foot came down on the knee as that leg buckled. I'm watching it again. As a martial artist, that's a clean kick. That is a clean kick.
I agree.
So, no, it should not be banned. You may want to play or hate on it because it's a damn good kick. But no, you cannot ban a quad kick like that. All right, you can do a heel, a kick where you're kicking with your heel into the quad. That is a legit kick. Sorry, you're wrong. All right, let's look at the conferences. Now, let's go division by division. This first, for this segment, we're going to go with the AFC. Let's try to get through this. Or do you want to start in the NFC?
We can start with the AFC. We can go AFC, then NFC.
All right, let's go. So AFC East. I have the Bills winning this division. Are we in agreement on that?
Yes, I think the Bills are leaps and bounds ahead of everyone in the division, which that includes my Miami Dolphins. So, but the Bills are just leagues ahead right now.
I see the division going Bills winning it, and the Dolphins and the surprising Jets are like neck and neck for second place. One of them is getting in the wild card, perhaps. And the Jets are a competitive last place. Mm-hmm. They're better than they were last year, but they're still in last place in this division. That's the way I see it.
Agreed.
All right. Now, that's quick and easy. You know what? You think let me share this? You want me to share the screen so we can look at the conferences, or are we good?
People know. People should know. What the
if you don't know by now, that's your own fault. Anywho, going to the AFC West, Chiefs are winning this one. Obviously, I had
100%.
I had the Chargers right behind them. Oh, better yet, real quick, going back to AFC East, real quick. Are there any storylines that you think we should keep our eyes on?
I mean,
AFC East. For
the AFC East, I mean, it's a division filled with young quarterbacks. So you've got, with Miami, you've got Tua that's had a full year now. And, it seems to be everyone's favorite thing in the media to just crap on Tua. So I think he shuts everyone up. It's going to be interesting to see about Mac Jones, rookie quarterback, stepping right in and taking over. And then same thing with Zach Wilson. And unfortunately for Zach Wilson, I think history is going to repeat itself in New York. And he's he's a talented young quarterback. He may not be the best, but he's got talent, and New York's going to potentially ruin him.
You know what? America's got talent, but that don't mean that it's going to work on the New York Jets.
Exactly.
And Josh Allen, I think this is the year that Josh Allen puts his name up there with Patrick Mahomes as the guy, as quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been MVP. Like, we had this conversation with Josh Taylor one time. It's like his numbers were MVP numbers last year. It just so happened that Aaron Rodgers went crazy last year. So there's like
Aaron Rodgers said, "Hold my beer, dog."
So if Aaron Rodgers just has a normal Aaron Rodgers year and Josh Allen in the Bills in the way they do and his stats, you got a good argument that Josh Allen could have been the MVP last year.
I agree 100%. All right, AFC West. It's obviously going to be it's going to go Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. Raiders are
100%.
Raiders are straight up garbage. This year for me in the AFC West, the storyline is Patrick Mahomes continues his legacy as among the most dominant quarterbacks of his era.
Mm-hmm.
You might even be able to start mentioning him all time. He had a little bit of adversity in that Super Bowl, and I think that he comes back stronger for it. I also say that, and I also am saying that this is the year I think that Teddy Bridgewater finally starts to really do something. We get back to the Teddy that had a ton of potential in Minnesota before he got hurt. Only problem is that he's in the same division as Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I agree. I think the biggest thing for me is going to be Herbert for season 2. Is he going to take a leap or is he going to have a sophomore slump? He had some good games, and Anthony Lynn was his head coach last year. He's talking about fantasy. He's not talking about the Broncos actually trading.
I was about to say, what the hell?
No, he had Bridgewater in fantasy, and he moved off of him. He called me about it today. But I think if the Chargers can get their act together, I think the Chargers could be a wild card team. There's 3 wild card teams now, so there's a bit more love to be shared, and they could potentially grab one of those latter spots. I'll get to who I think is going to be
the 3. Yeah, let's say
at the very end, because we picked the division winners. That's 4 playoff teams, and then the 3 wild card teams.
I agree. All right, AFC North. I'm trying to decide: do I want to do this on paper or what I know to be history? Go ahead. You go first. You go first.
I mean, I'm gonna say Cleveland. They're too talented. If they don't win the division, then it was a disastrous regular season. Now, if they don't win the division, they'll more than likely make it as a wild card team. But they should win this division, because Pittsburgh is. You just don't know where Pittsburgh's going to be, especially with the TJ Watt situation. He may not even sit out the entire year, but if he sits out a couple games, that is a force of nature on defense that is not there. His presence is not there. So that could be something that turns the tide of a game in favor of Pittsburgh opponent. Maybe they don't get the pressure on the quarterback that they want, and he has time to make an accurate throw for a touchdown or to move the field to get in scoring position. Whereas if TJ Watt is in that position, maybe he puts pressure on the quarterback makes a mistake. Ravens have a good defense. A lot of questions on offense, though. I think teams are starting to figure out how to contain Lamar Jackson a bit more. I think he's going to have to make bigger throws down the field. He's made some, but he just hasn't shown that he could do it at a high consistent rate. And then the Bengals are rebuilding. So
yeah, you know what? I begrudgingly agree with you. I think that, well, here's the thing. I still believe that it's going to be Browns, Steelers, Ravens, Bengals. I believe that the Browns just barely eke it out. But I don't believe that it's because of the TJ Watt situation. I believe that Melvin Ingram third and
that was a great pickup. I was jealous. I wanted Miami to pick up Ingram because he visited Miami in the offseason.
Right. I think that Ingram and Highsmith are going to give you some good stuff on the edge. Not like you would with Watt, but I think that, they're going to do good. I think Joe Schobert and Devin Bush are going to do very, very good things together on the inside. Minka Fitzpatrick, we know what he brings to the table. But I think that Joe Hayden being slower, being less fleet of foot, Terrell Edmonds, who's always sort of what the hell is going, what are you getting from this guy at safety? And the new fella that we just picked up from the Seahawks, his name escapes me right now. But I think that there's just way too many question marks. I mean, the defense looks solid on paper, but the question marks that are there, I don't think that the TJ Watt thing is going to kneecap as much. But I think the secondary might be a little bit of an issue for them. And then it's a matter of what the Steelers' offensive line is going to do in protecting not just Ben Roethlisberger, but opening up holes for Najee Harris. But, I mean, it's going to be close. The Bengals are still rebuilding. The Ravens are snake bit. It doesn't bother me to see the Ravens doing bad. I do want to see the Browns do well because the Browns, no matter what iteration, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, that should be the marquee rivalry, not Steelers-Ravens. It should be Steelers-Browns. So I want those Steelers-Browns games to mean something again. All right, AFC South. I've got the Colts winning. I've got the Colts eking this one out against the Titans. I think that the Colts are primed. They just needed that missing piece. They got their leader in Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz has shown his team a ton with coming back from that frightening injury during training camp. And I seriously think that that's going to get things started.
Yeah. And again, he's reunited with Frank Reichs, and that's the coach he had his best season with, where he was an MVP caliber player. He was just, unfortunately, like his entire career, he's just been injury bitten, but now he's behind an offensive line. So you hope that he won't take as many hits as he has in the past. He also has good receivers. I really like Pittman a lot. Think he's going to be an excellent number one option. T.Y. Hilton has tailed off and he's injured. He'll come back at some point in the season, but always a threat. But I got the Colts winning this one too. Again, defense is solid. Darius Leonard is a monster. And I think you can all honestly chalk up 4 wins between Jacksonville and Houston for them. And then the only other thing they have to do is split the series with Tennessee and then just beat a couple lesser opponents throughout the season, and they've got it.
Yeah. Now, as far as the 3 wild card teams, okay, I have Tennessee, I have Pittsburgh, I have the Chargers. Those are the 3 wild cards coming out the AFC. And as far as your AFC conference champions, it's the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs beat India. I think the Chiefs are the 1 seed. Bills are the 2 seed. Indianapolis is the 3 seed. Browns are the 4 seed. And you've got your wild card. And I see Bills Chiefs in the AFC Championship. I think you can't count the Chiefs out. You just can't. Buffalo has a much better defense, sure, but Patrick Mahomes, when he has an offensive line in front of him, he finds a way to win. And that defense does just enough to win. Yeah.
So for my wild card teams, the wild card is going to be extremely close. The AFC is good this year. And with that extra game, it may take 10, 11 wins, depending on which division you're in, to get in as a wild card, which is insane to win that many games, even in a 16, 17, well, this year 17 game season, to be considered a wild card team, meaning that you just barely got in.
Right.
But the teams I have competing for it, because I agree with your teams. I think the teams that are in the mix are going to be Miami, and then Pittsburgh and Baltimore, I think, will be in the mix. And then Tennessee and the Chargers will be in the mix. Now, that's a lot of teams that are in the mix, but that's just how good the AFC is.
Yeah.
And it's going to be which teams can, in those games where things aren't clicking, how can they overcome those struggles and steal a win somewhere? And I think Miami proves a lot of people wrong this year. Even if they're the final seed to get in, they're the 7th seed. I think they do squeeze in. And then see, it's so tough because I like the Chargers too. I think the Chargers take a big leap this year, maybe because that defense, even with losing Melvin Ingram, they still have a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Miami, the Chargers. Dude, this is tough. I'll throw my hat in with Tennessee.
Okay. So the Steelers missed the playoffs.
Yeah, I just don't know how Big Ben's going to hold up as we get to the second half.
All right, fair enough. We're going to take our final break, and then we're going to go to our predictions for the NFC, and then we're going to give our Super Bowl predictions as well. We already got Kansas City. Are we in agreement that Kansas City is going to be the AFC champs, or do you have different? What do you have for that?
I'm going to go Buffalo. Screw it. Why not?
All right, fair enough.
Put my foot down. Buffalo. I really like Buffalo. Josh Allen's fantastic. I think they take that leap, and they're in the Super Bowl this year.
All right, fair enough. We're going to be back after our final break. We're going to do the NFC, and then we're going to get out of here. This is the Tanndemonium Sports Show, broadcasting live here on twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. We are a part of the Vendetta Sports Media Podcasting Network. We'll be right back.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. In case you hadn't heard, your favorite Renegade Sports Media Group has its own Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media to support our efforts to continuously bring you sports, gaming, and other media coverage as only we can. We've got 4 different membership tiers. For $3 a month, we'll give you a simple thank you on our Patreon site. For $6 a month, you get a thank you, and you get to become a recruit in Jackson Law's Vendetta University Gaming Series. For $10 a month, you get everything from the previous tiers, a special thank you at the end of our videos, free access to our upcoming Discord chat, and a free koozie after 4 months. And then the big dog, $50 a month, gets you everything from the previous tiers, as well as opportunities for Fantasy League invites, stream gaming, possible invites to mock NFL and NBA draft sessions, a once-a-month Google Hangout, and after 4 months, a free t-shirt. Yeah! Go to patreon.com/Vendetta Sports Media and help us to improve our pledge to bring you the best sports, gaming, and other media coverage.
All right, we're back here for the final segment of the Tanndemonium Sports Show, broadcasting live, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. You want to follow what's going on with all of our podcasts on Twitter, go to @podcast_Vendetta. All right, Jackson, NFC time. NFC East, that dumpster fire. But I've got the Washington football team winning it. I think that of the teams that are there, I mean, they can make it work. I mean, they've got the most solid defense. You got Chase Young on your defensive line. You've got a lot of good stuff working out in your favor, I think. And when you've got Ron Rivera as your head coach, I mean, I think that they could at least be good enough because they were competitive last year.
Yeah, I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna stick with my guns here. Win, lose, draw. I'm going with the Giants winning the division in this one. They're my big underdog in the NFC. Not to like win the Super Bowl or anything, but to win their division because it is probably the worst division in the NFL. I don't think the Cowboys win because of Mike McCarthy. Philadelphia, dumpster fire. Washington, they're up and coming. I like what Washington's doing, and I think the edge has to go to the Giants if they stay healthy. There's the caveat. If they stay healthy, because I really like Joe Judge as a head coach. I think he's doing He's doing a lot with very little, which reminds me a lot of what Brian Flores was doing when he first got to Miami, because I was very annoyed with what Miami's front office was doing while Brian Flores was trying to win. I remember one of the first articles I wrote my first season covering the NFL here at Vendetta was that Brian Flores' first season felt like a sabotage job because they were purposefully trying to tank to get a quarterback. And that man kept the team performing well and somehow got so much out of that awful Miami team, which eventually they end up getting Tua. And then I now they're playing good, but I'm going to go with the Giants. I'm going to rock with them here.
All right. Fair enough.
And to win this division, by the way, you only need like 8 wins. Even with an extra game in the season, all you need is about 8 or 9 wins, and you've got this division. And I think the Giants can get 8 wins, 8 to 9 wins, and be in that conversation.
I don't think they're doing that with Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback.
See, I'm not sold on Daniel Jones either, but it's like when you look at the rest of the division, like you would take Dak Prescott on paper, but Dak Prescott was on pace to put up like 6,000 yards from the games that he played,
and then his ankle blew up.
Yeah, and his ankle blew up, but they'd only won 1 game in that time span. It's like, so what are those big numbers if your team's not winning?
Well, when you got Mike McCarthy as your head coach.
Exactly, and that's why I don't have the Cowboys winning the division.
All right, NFC West. I mean, is it even a question? It's the LA Rams. Matt Stafford goes off. He goes off. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are right behind them. They're not like super behind, but they're at least in second place.
Yeah.
I think the 49ers move on from Jimmy Garoppolo to Trey Lance, but it's going to be a rocky transition. He's going to have a rough first year. And this is the last year that I see Russell Wilson with the Seahawks. I think that Russell Wilson finds a way to get out of there.
It's weird to say that Seattle would be the 4th team, because Seattle is still a really good team. And like, if you were like, let's say, put Seattle in the NFC North, then I think Seattle could win the NFC North.
Oh, easily.
I mean, put them in the NFC East, they obviously win the NFC East. But, even in something like the NFC South, I think they could pull out the NFC South. The NFC West is the most entertaining division in football to watch.
It really
because
is. It really
from
is.
top to bottom, all 4 teams are good. Now, if the Bengals get their act together and the Steelers get their quarterback situation figured out after Big Ben's done really quickly, then you'll have a conversation of, which is the more entertaining conference, which one is going to produce the most playoff teams, the most Pro Bowlers and stuff. And like half of each Pro Bowl team from the AFC and NFC will come from those 2 divisions. But right now it's the NFC West. And I agree with you. I think I'm going to give the edge to the Rams on this. And I think I was a year early on the Cardinals, but I think this year is the year that the Cardinals do really well. I think they finished only like 2 or 3 games behind the Rams. And in a 17-game season, that's not a massive jump in anything. That's just like the Cardinals lost a few games last year where just the ball bounced the wrong way and they're on the losing side of it. That just happens. That's football.
That's football.
That's football. And the 49ers, I mean, the 49ers, this is pretty much the same team that's 2 years removed from a Super Bowl. And I wrote another article today how I think Trey Lance should sit a year because of how successful Patrick Mahomes was, and how it's only really in the modern era where we have this urgency to get a quarterback and immediately throw him to the wolves, where more times than not that is a bad thing. There's only in rare occasions where that has worked. And even then, in those rare occasions, it's like, even for Hall of Fame quarterbacks or MVP level quarterbacks, they sucked those first years, or those first couple years. Peyton Manning, he stunk his first couple years in the league. Josh Allen, horrific his first year in the league. Okay,
that's true.
And Peyton Manning is a multiple-time MVP. He's won 2 Super Bowls, and he's a Hall of Famer. And he was garbage when he first came into the league, which is why I still have hope for Sam Darnold, of course. Yeah. But I just think they should rock with Jimmy G for one more year and let Lance get a bit more comfortable in the system.
And I'm on board with that. I think you're absolutely right. That should be what happened, but with the way the modern game is,
I know they're going to feel a lot of pressure. I just, I think Shanahan will do the right thing. I think Shanahan has no problem with waiting the year. But I agree pretty much with the order that you set and everything. Rams win, Cardinals second, 49ers third.
All right. NFC North. Is it even a question the Packers win this?
I mean, they just kind of win it by de facto because it's the Bears, it's the Lions, and it's the Vikings.
Yeah. I'm calling Packers, Bears, Vikings, Lions. That's the way it's going to do. That's the way.
When Aaron Rodgers leaves this team, even with Justin Fields, who will eventually start, he'll probably even start at some point this season. But Justin Fields would probably be the best quarterback in this division. It's probably going to compete as being the worst division in the league.
I agree. Honestly, when Aaron Rodgers leaves this team, the Bears are just they're an automatic victory. And as
long as Dalton is starting, I think Green Bay will probably, they normally like lose one game and it's to the Vikings. That's just how it goes. I don't get it. I guess that's an unwritten rule of the NFC North is Green Bay must lose one game in their division every year, and it has to be to the Vikings.
Well, I think the Vikings just have their number because they're just it's just one of those things. You always have that one division rival that doesn't always have
the Vikings are just the oddest team. Like I said earlier, it's like they go from super mega playoff team one season with a top 5 defense to they pretty much run it back the next season and the defense is atrocious. They're like 27th, 28th in the league. And you're just like, how did we get here?
Started from the bottom. We're still here.
Went from the bottom to the top and straight back to the bottom. There was no in between.
But I seriously think that Justin Fields is going to be he's the future of this division. He's going to own this division in 3-4 years. He's going to own it.
Because his competition is, for right now, Jared Goff will be more than likely Jordan Love and then Kirk Cousins. I take Justin Fields over the field.
Absolutely. Let's see. And finally, the NFC South, obviously the Buccaneers are going to win this one as well. When you got Tom Brady as your starting quarterback, this man does not look like he's ever falling off. It's just there. But I have the Falcons finishing last, and I actually have the Saints and the Panthers battling it out like crazy.
I agree.
This is going to be the future monster rivalry of the NFC. It's going to be Darnold versus Winston. I see this. For this year, though, I kind of give it to Jameis Winston. I think that the Saints eke it out, and they take one of those. They're going to take one of those wild card spots, I think.
Yeah,
so, I'm going Buccaneers, Saints, Panthers, very, very close, and Falcons.
Yeah, and I'll roll my pick over into who I think gets into the wild card too. So I'm also going to agree with you. I think Tampa Bay ekes away with this. I think it's like maybe 2 games. I think it's 2 games at max, 2 games. It may even be a game. Hell, it may even come down to like a tiebreaker or something. It's like, who has the highest aggregate score, who, maybe you have to go like 5 or 6, statistics down the line to figure out who's winning the division. I have no idea.
And I think that would be great if it was Jameis Winston leading the Saints against the
and that was kind of the point I was going to get into next is this division is going to have some of the greatest storylines of any division in the league. Obviously, I'm pretty biased towards the AFC East because I want to say it has like the average is like the youngest starting quarterback core in the in the league because you got 2 rookies, a sophomore, and Josh Allen who's under 25. So it's crazy how young those starting quarterbacks are. But this one, you've got 2 teams in Carolina and New Orleans that are kind of eerily similar in what their identity is. And the fact that they're like fringe playoff teams, both of them. And you also have 2 quarterbacks who played well where they previously were, but had shortcomings and were given up on. and now they've been handed the keys to 2 new franchises. And I think both of them have great chances to succeed at where they're at. I think Darnold is getting a lot more support in Carolina. It helps when you have arguably the number 1 running back in the league in Christian McCaffrey. And then you've got receivers like DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. And then Jameis Winston, he's got Sean Payton as his head coach. And he's got a veteran Saints team that always stays competitive and have been really the butt end of quite a few calls and events that have happened in the past 5 years in the NFL, where it's like they always fall just short. So it's gonna be a tough call for them, but I think that potentially those 2 teams, if I am correct that Sam Darnold and Jameis Winston both rebound, I think both teams could make the wild card, with Arizona taking the other wild card spot. Now, I think Arizona is, I don't want to say a lock, because what if Kyler Murray gets tears his ACL? What if half the defense gets exposed to COVID and has to sit out for 2 weeks or something like that? And you've got players that are unvaccinated, so they're having to sit out much longer. But I think it's going to come down between San Francisco. Obviously, Seattle's going to be in the mix, but I don't know. Russell Wilson tends to fall off at the end of the year. That's just been the story for the
poor
past
guy's so
7 years.
Poor guy's so freaking beat up. You can only do so much.
Oh, I know.
Unless the guy starts getting the injections from freaking Blitz 2, the league.
But I think it's going to come down to the 49ers, the Saints, and the Panthers for those final 2 spots. And San Francisco, very good. It's hard to bet against them. But I think if the Saints and the Panthers are as good as a lot of us here at Vendetta think they could be, then I'm a rock with the 2 of them. One of them definitely getting in, okay? If one of them's definitely getting in, and I think 2 of them could get in.
All right. Well, see, as far as wild card teams, because we got our division winners, I've got Saints, Panthers, and 49ers eking out. I got the 49ers just barely eking it out. I think that even though I'm not a fan of Nick or Joey Bosa, I think they're both garbage human beings. But
NFL players.
But as far as NFL players, I mean, Nick Bosa, he's a stud. He's a beast. And the 49ers defense has always been low-key big hogs.
Yeah.
Always been low-key badass. So I see the 49ers, Saints, and Panthers making it into the to the wild card. I see it as and I'm actually going to call this. This might be really, really, really out of left field. I'm going to call a Buccaneers Saints NFC Championship game.
Okay.
With the Bucs eking it out in a rematch between Buccaneers and Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes getting his revenge on the Tom Aloysius Brady.
See, I've already gone against the grain once, and I know, listen, Tampa is so they're good. Their defense is amazing, and the fact
whole
that
damn team is coming back.
I know that's
the whole
all 22 starters.
Team.
All 22 starters are coming back.
I seriously feel like Bluto Blutarski. They're bringing back the team, the whole effing team.
But man, I'm a continue to be wild with this, just because I like to be wild. Give me the Rams.
Oh, the Rams returning to the SB. I
think Matthew Stafford. I think he becomes the big dog that the Lions always wanted him to be. He's got an ungodly cannon of an arm and was putting up big numbers in Detroit. Who puts up big numbers in Detroit?
Not many.
Now he's got receivers. He's got a defense that's going to finish as a top 5 defense.
Okay. Oh, whoa! What happened?
What happened to our numbers?
Yeah. Where's our stream just dropped?
Did it?
Yeah. How did it just end? Everything was going just fine. What happened?
Yeah, we were just talking. That was weird. Like we were
now it's back. Now
we were talking just fine. Like nothing was happening. Neither of us froze or anything.
No, not at all. Now it's back.
That's odd.
See, this is what happens when Courtney isn't here.
For real. She is her and her internet are the glue that bind us all together.
Yeah. She is about the one ring.
Yeah. But anyway, in case you missed it, give me the Rams out of the NFC. I think Matthew Stafford has an amazing season. I think Matthew Stafford, I'm not calling him to win the MVP, but I think he falls into that conversation because because Sean McVay, he got Jared Goff to the Super Bowl. Okay.
You can get Jared Goff to the Super Bowl.
If you can get Jared,
you better be able to go to Super Bowl with Matt Stafford.
Yeah. And
even if his old lady is insane.
I honestly don't know who I would pick in the situation when it comes down to the Bills and the Rams. I'll settle now for Bills and Rams being my picks to get to the Super Bowl. But I promise you, by the halfway point, I will make a decision, even if it's just a coin flip and heads are Bills, tails are Rams, and I flip it and whatever it lands on is who my pick is. I'll have a pick by midseason at least.
All right, fair enough. Hey, listen, thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Sorry about the glitch out. No clue what the hell happened there. Hopefully when Courtney's back next week, we won't have any issues like that. Hopefully we can have Josh Taylor on for his monthly slot here on the Tanndemonium Sports Show. I'm going to be kind of mad if he starts blowing off this show to do that some cheese. I'm about to have to hunt Trey down for trying to steal my friend. Like, what the hell's going on with that? You can't just take my dog. But anytime. Yeah, he said anytime for cheese. Yes, he did.
Man.
But when it comes to the Tanndemonium Sports Show, a guy that he's been friends with since the mid-90s, he has to check his schedule. Schedule. We'll see. That's what that. We'll see. Josh Taylor is very, very much Pittsburgh, same as I, but sometimes he gets a little bit fancy schmancy. Saying, let me check my schedule. Running for food and things of that nature. That's some cheese. He's just ready to go for his new best friend, frickin' Trey Daubert.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Josh Taylor show now for Vendetta.
Seriously, man. Oh my goodness.
They are best friends.
I love it. Yeah, Trey and Josh are gonna have like a buddy cop bromance show.
Yep.
It's gonna be called Getting Live with Josh and Trey. Like Trey is actually going to be happy to take second billing just for his new best friend and man crush, Josh Taylor. Like Trey is going to come down here to work out just so he can hang out with Josh Taylor before the tan wedding. Oh Lord, these wild and crazy guys. All right, make sure you catch us every Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. Make sure you give some love to our sponsors. Monkey Knife Fight. Go to monkeyknifefight.com. 6 interns now. Wow.
Getting the axe.
6 interns.
Big yikes.
Wow. And this happened during the show. Wow.
Tough scene.
All right. So that's one less quiz that I have to check. I don't even see Riley putting anything down in the Slack. No. All right. Well, bye, Riley. Peace. Another one bites the dust. Okay. But anyway, so we'll see what's going on. You'll actually hear me ranting and raving about the interns probably on the next show because 48 hours away. Didn't turn in a timesheet. Blame Chickster for being toxic for not showing up to SEO training. Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
Ooh.
That doesn't work at all. Number one, Chick is among the least toxic of people. Like Chick is like the nicest dude ever. And he's been offering these SEO trainings like crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was the Holy Cross dude we were talking about earlier today. Wow. Okay.
Well, whatever.
Tough.
So I love the fact that some of these interns are sitting here and they're trying to say, oh, well, everything's just like, I love that's the blanket excuse now. It's toxic.
It's toxic. Yeah.
You know what? No, you can't just say it's toxic. You have nothing to base it on.
Like,
and I guarantee you that if you come up with a
like,
basis
it's going to seem toxic because
you're getting called out.
You're getting called out. Yeah. Because you did something stupid or you didn't show up when you were supposed to.
Right.
We're adults here. You want to be in the adult world. There's not second chances all the time.
You don't get to no show. Number one. Number two, if you have an issue, here's an idea. You bring it to HR. No intern showed up for SEO training. 0. No intern showed up for SEO. Then fire all of them. Unless they got some sort of permission. Did anyone, you know what? I know we need to end the show. We need to end the show. You know what? We're going to end the show, and then we need to have a meeting with Trey. I got to have a meeting with Trey about this. Got to have a meeting with the boss. Okay. Got to. I'm sending Trey the
he said he'll talk about it on Q&A. So
he's going to talk about it on the Q&A.
Stay tuned for Q&A and you'll get to learn.
Stay tuned for the Q&A with Uncle Trey.
You get the post cheese.
Wow. You know what? I'm done. I'm done for the night. I'm done. Go to vendettasportsmedia.com to get all of our content. Go to monkeyknifefight.com. Use our promo code. I guess I should bring up the effing banner. I'm like so disgusted now.
You just want to get the stream over with now.
Seriously. Go to monkeyknifefight.com. Use our promo code Vendetta to get a 100% instant match on your deposit, on your first deposit up to $100. Shout out to XP Coffee Company. Go to xpcoffeecompany.com. It's coffee made for gamers by gamers. Go to symbol.app. Use our promo code Vendetta for a $10 deposit bonus on your very first deposit. All right. And make sure you go to the Vendetta Sports Media shop. Use our promo code Cheese to get that big Unk merch. And I think there's going to be some Tanndemonium merch coming soon. I think that's what's happening. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to see about that. Probably not. I'm a deal, but I'm not a big deal. Mm-hmm. And I'm just barely an executive. I'm not a real executive, just a kind of executive. So I'm still the low man on the totem pole on my own show. Anyway, with that being said, that's Jackson Law. I'm Bryan Tann. It's a Tanndemonium Sports Show here, part of the Vendetta Sports Media Podcast Network. I'm not the sports guy. I'm just the HR guy. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Be well. And we might need some new interns, so you might want to apply. Have a good night, guys.